Welcome to Mage to Kata episode 10, the config XML converter Kata. And finally it's time to do some real TDD with unit tests again, so the tests are going to run nice and quick. What are we going to do? We're going to take the XML structure from the previous katas and we are going to convert it into a much more usable array structure. So I hope you enjoyed. Let's get started. So let's jump right in. Here we have the config reader instance that we're using, which is a file system reader. One of the things it receives in the constructor is this converter instance. That is what we will implement to change the config data array structure. So let's create the test class. Unit model config. And in here we will create the test class unit conversion config converter. Copy and test. Extends PHP unit framework test case. As always, to check the whole environment is set up correctly, we'll start with a test nothing test. So let's just fail with some message that makes it clear that we are seeing our failure. And of course it fails, yay! I want to create the class, so let's write a test that needs the class to exist. And this is just temporary, so we don't have to write a proper assertion. And to confirm I didn't make a mistake, I want to see it fail. Perfect. So let's go ahead and create the folders for the class. Now that the directory exists, I can have PHP Storm create the class for me. Thanks. Oh, we don't need that. And the test passes. Now let's update the test. We need to implement the interface. Assert instance of converter interface class converter. And yep, it fails as expected. So let's implement the interface. Let PHP Storm add the method stubs. Test passes, return type hint more accurate, and we're good. Let's go ahead and import this. Now let's start with a slight refactoring. Oh, and we'll have a lot of refactoring in this episode. For now I want the converter to be assigned to a class property. Inline this, good. What's gonna be our first test? Usually I would always check the input type is what I expect, but for the purpose of this kata, let's skip that. So let's first write a test that checks that the return type is right. If we pass in an empty DOM document, we should receive an empty array. We need a DOM document, not an XML string. Load XML. Now we can pass that into the converter and check the return value. By the way, is the code still working? Oh, convert on null. Right, we're missing the setup method. If we move the assignment, it'll be available in our test. So we're still green, very good. So finally we can add the assertion. This assert same empty array result. Okay, red state. Time to go back to our converter. The first return value check, so we'll just fake it. And we're back to green. Let's see, inline this. And let's go ahead and extract this into a method called create source. Inline the XML. The XML argument is a string. Returns DOM document. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Let's move it up above the setup method. Still green, still green. Now let's think a bit about what kind of data structure we want to create. We want to create an array with the units we want to convert on the first level and it targets units with a factor on the second level. The tricky part here is, during TDD we want to go in small steps. We don't want to add one test that checks the complete data structure right now. I'll try to note down the array structure I would like to receive in the end to make it clear. Here, let me speed this up. This is the expected result for one unit. You can see it's easy to look up any factor given a source and a target unit. Since we don't want to check the full data structure, let's start with the first level of the array. Now wait, in the test. Test adds unit as subarray key. Some XML for the units. Let's see. Unit conversion map. That's our root node, okay. To start, one unit is enough. This is our input, and we want to check that the array that is returned as the output has the right array key, gram, and the conversion call. This converter convert. This create source XML. Well, no surprise, test is read. It's just an empty array. Let's fix that. What do we need to do? We need the root element out of our DOM document. So with the current test, I think I was getting ahead of myself a little. For the time being, let's mark the test as incomplete, and then we can get back to it later. Too big of a step. Let's first create a test for a method that gives us the root element. Test returns the root node. Root element. Okay, so now let's first check that we are getting back a DOM element instance. And this is converter get root element source. I like document better here. Document. This will fail because there is no such method. Let's add it. This here has to be a DOM document. Okay. How do you get that? Let's loop over all child nodes and return the first element. Right, we might as well add a DOM node type hint here. If child node type equals XML element node, return the element. The first one in a document is the root. Okay, we're green. But just to be sure, I want to add one more check that the name of the returned element matches our root node name. Node name. And of course we're still green, but it just feels more complete this way. Okay, how about pulling this into a variable? Root node. Still green. Let's inline this one. Okay. Oh boy, let's refactor this. This is pretty ugly. Let's find an abstraction. Let's add a method that returns all child elements of a given node. And then we'll just return the first one. Since a document just has a single child element. Maybe we need a test for that, huh? Returns all child elements. Okay, we'll need some XML with some children elements. What to assert? let's assert that the count of the children of this document is 1. Get all child elements. This create source XML. Okay, good. Now we can create the method. Type in this as DOM node, then we can pass a DOM document or a DOM element. Return array filter, iterator to array. That would be parent child nodes. One nice side effect of using array filter with a closure is we can have type safety for the elements in the array. Each one is a DOM node child. Return child node type equals XML element. And now we can use this here. Here, return get child elements, document, and the first one. Look at this. Okay. All green. Good. We'll use this method a lot. So let's add a type hint, then it will return an array of DOM elements. Now, back to our tests. Oh, well, I think this one isn't quite done yet. Document children. This assert contains only instances of DOM element class. The array is document children. Let's add one more. This assert count 3. This converter get all child elements document children 0. That's our root node. And yeah, that also works. Good. I'm pretty sure this is okay. Now, we don't really want these two methods to be public, right? So let's go ahead and make them private. So how do we test them? Well, we don't have to. They're now internal. So let's get rid of the tests. Good. Deleting code is good. Now, let's reactivate the test that we marked as incomplete. How do we do this? Let's do the following. This is our result. That's the array that we're going to build. For each, this get all child elements, source as child. And to be safe, let's just use child nodes with the node name unit. If child node name equals unit, well, let's get the ID attribute value of the unit element. Child attributes get named item ID, node value, result unit, and let's just set it to an empty array for now. I didn't expect that. Oh, right. We're iterating over the document, not the children of the root element. And the root element is this get root element source. Let's rename this to document. Okay. And this root element here is what we want to get the child elements from. Here we go. Much better. Not very nice. Can we clean this up a bit? I think we can. Let's find an abstraction. How about we add a new method, getChild by name. Better, getChildren by name. DOM element, parent, name, and again return array filter, and the input is get all child elements of the parent. DOM element, let's call it child, and we'll have to use the name so we can filter by it. Return child node name equals name. So now here we can use get child elements by name. Unit as, oops, that has to be a comma. Now this can be the unit node. And now we can get rid of this. No, we're still green. Good. We got rid of the double level of indentation, which is good. And now let's go back to our test and expand it. Let's continue and check the next level of the array. So let's open up the unit node here so we can add a child. The child is a conversion node with a target unit and a conversion factor. So this still should work, yeah. But now we also want to ensure this assert array has key. Let's extract this into a variable result. Result gram should have the key milligram. Right, that key does not yet exist. So now here we'll have to parse out any conversions that are defined for the unit. For each, this get children by name, and the parent is the unit node, conversion as conversion node. So the target unit is conversion node. We're missing a type hint. So here we're returning an DOM element array. Right, let's try again. Autocompletion. Get named item 2. Node value. Let's build the next level in result. That's unit, target unit. An empty string will do. And we're back to green, good. So now let's check the value of the factor. Assert same result gram to milligram. That's our value, and it should be the same as 1111. This assertion implies the previous one, so let's delete it. Of course we're failing because we're just assigning an empty string, but that's easy to fix. We just have to assign the conversion node factor. Get named item factor and node value. Okay, time to refactor, and here we're nested 2 levels deep again, so let's fix this. We're using $result inside of the inner loop. Let's build the conversions in a separate array, and then we can extract the inner part into a separate method. Conversions, and now we'll take all of this and extract it into gather conversions. Run the tests. Yep, all still green. Let's clean up gather conversions. Well, this here would be a DOM element, and here too. This here is a string array. Okay. I guess we could extract this, but it won't buy us much. Let's leave it. Well, we're back to 1 level of indentation. That's kind of okay. Let's continue working on the test. The test method name is completely outdated. Test it adds each factor to the conversion mapping. Let's add a second one, to kilogram. And I expect this to work. This is cheap and I just want to make sure. Okay, how about testing a bit more complex XML? Overwrites existing conversions during merge. Let's take this here from the previous test as a base and make it a bit more interesting. Well, it's nicer if these are the same length. Let's add a new unit. ID is milligram. Conversion to kilogram. Factor, wait a moment, no. We want to have unit gram to kilogram. Let's say the factor is 333. Let's just copy them from above. Good, so now, oops, forgot that one. So here, conversion to milligram still should be 111, but kilogram is no longer 222, it should be overwritten and be 333. And it doesn't work. The first record, milligram, is missing actually. Let's have a look why that's happening. It happens because we're overriding an existing unit's conversions here. We have to check if the unit is set already or not. If it's set, we have to merge in the new conversions. Otherwise, we just assign them. And we're back to green. Right. We could add some more test cases, but I think this should work. And to be honest, the kata is getting kind of long. So we'll keep putting it all together for the next kata, where we'll take the existing DI configuration, add the converter to it, and then we're going to write the ultimate config XML integration test. So let's go ahead and get rid of all the code that we've written this time so we are able to do the kata again. Please leave your comments or questions, or maybe you want to share if you had some insights. Thank you for watching. Until next time.